Come on out. It's morning time. I'm gonna go to the main cage. Good bird. Now, I see what you're doing. I'm fixing your breakfast. You just have to be patient. Yeah, I know. I know. What's it? You don't know about this camera, do you? So getting a little bit of a late start today, just getting all my camera stuff set up, but not a lot out there today I want to go to. There was one that I saw that had some carnival glass and maybe some uranium glass in a cabinet, and maybe a few older things there as well, but well, I'm ready to get rolling. So here we go. I've arrived to my first one. And take a look around. It's already been open for a couple of days, so I don't expect to find much, but you never know. So here's the cabinet I was interested in, and it looks like almost nothing's been purchased out of it. So the first bowl I find is by Fenton. It's a carnival glass. It's not very old. And there's another piece of carnival glass, and they're labeled $5 a piece. And yeah, there's uranium glass here too. And that one's labeled $5. And they can generally sell for around, I don't know, 12 to 20 if you're lucky. And yeah, here's some Garfield mugs from McDonald's. These are probably right around mid-80s if I had to guess. Maybe a little earlier. They're priced kind of high, but I figured once I bundle everything, I'll get a pretty good deal. And this place, turns out I did. And I find boxes full of crochet needles, crochet hooks, knitting needles, and circle hooks. So I just decided to grab both these boxes and throw them on the table and see how much they'll ask for them. They ended up asking $25 for all of it, which is pretty cheap. Figured I'd get them for my mom and some family. I don't plan on selling these. Mugs. Mugs can surprise you. And since these look to be older train collectible ones, I figured, yeah, there wasn't a price on them, but I figured I'd get them for a little bit of nothing and take a gamble on it. And I found an old, probably from the 60s recorder, but it's plastic, and I don't think there's any value. I looked it up later, and no real value to that, so I'm glad I left it behind. And these old greenback stamps. There's so many of these out there that really they're not worth anything. They're neat to look through. So that was a pretty cool sale. It's $50 for everything, and I think I can probably make that back just on the box of 4 mugs alone. It's very possible. I'll have to take a look at the prices on that. But yeah, after a sale like that, it almost makes me just want to go home, because I know I've got a lot of work to do just to sell that stuff. Nothing there is really huge dollar item and groundbreaking or anything, but you know, a little bit of work to get all that done. So how much more do I really want to buy, you know, today? But I'll hit a couple just because I'm out. Yep. And here we go to the next. Individually priced items. I like digging through stuff that's not priced. And I always like looking through the VHSs. And hey, another Garfield for the collection. They're only asking $0.25 a piece, so I definitely grabbed that. And I was in the neighborhood, so I swung by an antique store. I don't plan on purchasing anything here, but I like to look at what prices are of things. See what they price at an antique store. And here's a whole container full of Vaseline and uranium glass. You can see it glowing. I get some ideas and some prices. And I'll price a lot cheaper than what they'll price at these stores. But a pretty impressive display. And on to more sales. And I actually was thinking about purchasing some of these, some auxiliary cables, some male-to-male ones that come in handy. And I'll pick up envelopes when I see them from time to time because they'll practically give them to me for free, so I might as well snag them. And some cutters for my yard. And throw them in the bag. And I figured I can get a lot of this fishing tackle for a little bit of nothing. So I grab what I want. And I grab some stuff I don't want. I'll give it to some family. Should be able to fill up a tackle box for a few bucks. And yeah, all this stuff, they only asked me $4 for all of it. So that was a deal. And moved on to the next. That's a hat full of interesting lapel pins from a air show around here locally. I don't know, so I just snag it for a couple bucks. And I don't know if it's worth anything, but I'll find out. And here we're always digging through the pins looking for good stuff. And I find a cross pin. Not worth a lot, but I collect them. I try to see how many I can get. So they asked $1 for it. And $1 for this, which is kind of an interesting mechanical pencil / pin combo. It says Pratt & Whitney on it, which is an aircraft engine maker. So I snag it. And the binoculars are $7. I picked them up to just to see. I wasn't sure. Turns out they weren't worth anything. They were a little bit messed up. Oh, and an Audubon book for trees from the West Coast. And I want that personally for $1. Man, that's so cheap. Yeah, let's take a look at the Fenton bowl here. It's they didn't start labeling Fenton on the bottom until the 1970s, so it's not very old. You can see it's sold for around $50 plus shipping. And the mugs, and I never sleep on the mugs like this, the collectible ones. This one surprised me. I could probably get $60 for it, for the box. And the Garfield tape, you know, it's between $6 to $9. I don't plan on selling it. And the mugs, you know, they can range in price. And the plates for me, I may display that on my shelf. And the needles, I'll be giving that out to family. And the pretty cool little pen and mechanical pencil combo. Could sell, I might get close to 20 bucks for it, just for a pen I found in an old basket. And the binoculars, they were, yeah, I spent $7 and they were kind of messed up, but I kind of suspected that. But I ended up taking them apart and learning how they work, and in the future, if I ever find any, I know how to take them apart, how to properly clean them, so I got some practice on an old pair. So all in all, yeah, really, that first one I went to, I would definitely make a good profit there. It may take a few months, but it's definitely worth my time. So I'm already eyeing stuff for this next coming up week, so look forward for a video then.